Now, just yesterday, I did a video. We were talking about South Africa receiving a letter from the United States of America under the Trump administration of the tariffs that the Trump administration or President Trump has decided to slap South Africa with. And as seen on the screen, it appears that there's been breaking news. The letter arrived just now, and I thought I come and quickly give you these latest developments. I mean, when I did that video yesterday, which this was the thumbnail, I was expecting the letter to come in the next maybe couple of days, but it came today. And as seen on the screen, notice that this letter states that as of the 1st of August, South Africa will receive a tariffs of 30%. All goods that comes from South Africa or that we ship from South Africa to the United States of America, they are going to be slammed with a 30% of tariff. Now, something very important that before we dig deep into this letter that you need to remember is that around March of this year, Trump hit 10% or hit all the countries that do business or that do trading business with the United States of America with 10%, meaning that this 30% that we received as South Africa is an additional to the 10% that is already there or that came into effect as of the 1st of April or 2nd of April this year. So now in total, South Africa will have to pay 40% of tariffs on everything we ship to the United States of America. But I think, if my memory serves me well, these tariffs excluded some minerals or the minerals that we take to the US, right? But otherwise, we are getting these 30% of tariffs onto the products that we are shipping to the US. And yeah, let's dig deep into this letter, or maybe before we dig deep, like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. YouTube has been telling me that some of you guys are not subscribing and are just watching, and I will really like if you can just subscribe, you like this video, and you hit that notification bell so that every time I drop a new content, you get to be the one to be notified by YouTube, because these news are very, very important. Now, back to the letter that we received. As seen on the screen, you will notice that on the letter is the United States of America saying, of course, they started the title, His Excellency Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa, Pretoria. Dear Mr. President, it is with great honor for me to send you this letter, in that it demonstrates the strength and the commitment of our trading relationship and the fact that the United States of America has agreed to continue working with South Africa despite having significant trade deficit with your great country. Nevertheless, we decided to move forward with you, but only with more balanced and fair trade. Therefore, we invite you to participate in our extraordinary economy of the United States of America, the number one market in the world by far. Wow. We have had years to discuss our trading relationship with South Africa and have concluded that we must move away from this long-term and very persistent trade deficit engendered by South Africa's tariff and non-tariff policies and trade barriers. Our relationship has been unfavorably far from reciprocal. Starting on the 1st of August 2025, we will charge South Africa a tariff of only 30% on any and all goods South Africa products sent into the United States. Separate from all sectoral tariffs, goods transshipped to evade higher tariff will be subject to that higher tariff. Goods transshipped to evade higher tariff will be subject to higher tariff. Please understand that the 30% number is far less than what is needed to eliminate the trade deficit. As you are aware, there will be no tariff if South Africa or companies within your country decide to build or manufacture products within the United States of America. In fact, we will do everything possible to get approvals quickly, professionally, and routinely. In other words, in a matter of weeks. If for any reason you decide to raise tariffs, then whatever number you choose to raise them by, we will be added to the 30% that we charge. Please understand these tariffs are necessary to correct the many years of South Africa's tariff and non-tariff policies, trade barriers, causing these unsustainable trade deficits against the United States. The deficit is a major threat to our economy and indeed our national security. This is the letter, my dear friends, that we received from the United States of America. So they are saying that everything we send to them, there will be a tariff of 30%, right? And yeah, they say everything. I'm not sure. AGOA, you know that we've got an AGOA a deal with the US where we take our minerals at duty free, right? I think that excludes AGOA, right? But any other, of course, shipment that we take to the US will pay this 30%, right? I mean, unless we build our factories of the stuff we are sending to the US in the United States of America, which, by the way, they committed that if we do that, if we can build our factories, steel factories, whatever factories of the stuff we are taking to the United States of America in America, then they will make sure that there are zero tariffs on those products that we are manufacturing or building in the United States of America. So yeah, this is what they are saying. This is the letter. From the 1st of August, we can expect 30% of all the things that we are shipping to the United States of America, which is something that is not good, because you will know that this is not a surprise to South Africa, because before the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, decided to halt these tariffs, which were first announced in March, the 30% was there, meaning that chances are very high that all the other countries that received those tariffs, chances are very high that they are going to get or receive the same letters that South Africa received. You must know that there are, I think, 2 countries, if not 3, that the United States went and sit down and negotiate with them. This includes China, India, and the United Kingdom, right? These 3 countries, USA, discussed or had a discussion with these 3 countries, and Donald Trump came out and said, the other countries, you will get a take it or leave it letter. So this letter that we received as South Africa, it's a take it or leave it. We cannot negotiate again. We cannot go and ask President Donald Trump and his administration to take down these tariffs. It's either this one or nothing. So we just have to accept this is the way it is. But as for those 3 countries, I suppose they can still negotiate, they can still talk with the United States of America, because what really matters is that for now we just have to find strategies on how, of course, we can maneuver around with this 30% tariff. Now, here is something that these tariffs will do to the United States of America. Remember, South Africa, we transport a lot of steel into the US. There are quite a number of goods that we take into the US, and what's going to happen now is that our goods that we take to the US are not going to be in demand that much, because we have to adjust the 30% tariff, right? Meaning that the prices that we were selling our goods to the US with, of course, the price for us to make a profit or a decent profit, or for companies in South Africa to make a decent profit, they will have to adjust their prices by 30%, because if they don't do that, then obviously it's going to, all these companies taking or shipping our stuff to the US, they are going to run at a loss, which is something that, of course, no company wants to run at a loss, and therefore we just have to, or these companies will just, at the end of the day, have to increase their prices by that 30%, which will make their products to be so expensive in the US that the US citizens or consumers will decide to buy locally produced products of the same products we're sending to the US. And guess what it's going to do to the United States of America's economy? That, you know, it's going to trigger inflation, because what is going to happen is that a lot of people are going to go for the products. If the United States of America there are some of the products that we are taking to them that they are producing themselves. Those products are going to be in demand in the US, which will result into inflation to be triggered again. This is very important to note that when there is more demand of certain products in a country, it triggers inflation. When a lot of consumers have got only few options to get the products that they use on a day-to-day, they will go buy in masses. Those products will be in so much in demand that, of course, the supply is not enough. And what happens when the supply is not enough but demand is there? Prices escalate, which that we all know, economics 101, it triggers inflation, right? Inflation triggers high interest rates, which is the very same thing that the President of the United States has been fighting with the Fed, saying that they should start cutting down interest rates. This does not help the Fed at all in making decisions to cut interest rates in the United States of America, because it's not South Africa, remember, that is getting this letter, right? Malaysia, I think us and Malaysia, we got these letters around the same time. Malaysia got 25%, we got 30%, and there are also so many other countries, China, India, Brazil, and the others that are going to still receive these letters. And when they get these letters, guess what? The products of whatever they ship into the US are going to not be so much in demand, and therefore making the local producers in the US having to increase the prices, because the demand of local produced products will be so high, triggering inflation, which it will end up triggering interest rates. So in a nutshell, I just thought I'd come and summarize this for you. This is the letter we received. And yeah, I know it's not good, but we just have to accept. We just have to find ways to maneuver. But otherwise, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if South Africa will respond, which I doubt we will, right? Because whatever we respond, if we're saying we're hitting US with 10% tariffs, they're going to add that 10% to the 30% that they've already added. Whatever we add tariffs onto the US, they are going to add that back to whatever we do. This is what the letter is saying. So like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell me what you think about this. My dear friends, in summary, this is what the letter is about. This is what we received, and I'll see you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, and God bless you all.